All right, let's dive into one of my favorite topics in football trading. We're going to break down a really effective technique on Betfair, how you can create a trading position that is, believe it or not, completely risk-free.
I know. It sounds way too good to be true, doesn't it? Placing a bet that just can't lose? But here's the thing. With a betting exchange like Betfair, you can actually engineer this exact scenario. You can create a position where you either win big on one outcome or you lose absolutely nothing on any of the others. It's an incredibly powerful spot to be in. And today, we're going to walk through exactly how you can do it.
Okay, first things first, let's get one thing crystal clear. When I say free bet in this context, I am not talking about one of those promotional free bets you get from a bookmaker. Nope, this is something completely different. This is a position you create through smart trading. A position where one result lends you a nice profit and every single other result, you break even. You lose nothing.
So, to build this kind of position, we've got to go back to basics for a second. We need to really understand the two fundamental actions on any betting exchange. Seriously, this is the foundation of the whole strategy.
And it's actually pretty simple. You've got backing and laying. Backing is what you're probably already used to, right? It's betting on a team to win. Laying is the complete opposite. You're betting that they won't win. So when you lay a bet, you're essentially stepping into the shoes of the bookmaker and taking someone else's bet.
And this is exactly what it looks like on the Betfair exchange. You can see it right there, the blue column for back prices and the pink column for lay prices. Getting your head around this simple difference is, honestly, the first real step you take from being just a punter to becoming a trader.
All right, basics are covered. Now for the fun part. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do we actually build this amazing risk-free position?
Believe it or not, in its simplest form, it's just 3 steps. Step 1, you back an outcome that you think is going to shorten in price. Step 2, you wait. You wait for something to happen in the game. A goal is the classic example that makes those odds drop. And finally, step 3, you lay that same outcome using the exact same stake you started with. That's it. It really is that straightforward.
Let's make this real with an example. Say we're looking at a Tottenham versus Brentford game. We decide to back Brentford for 100 quid at pretty high odds, 7.4. If they win, we're looking at a £640 profit. Now, let's say Brentford scores. Bam! Suddenly, their odds to win plummet to 3.0. This is our moment. We go in and lay Brentford with the same £100 stake. So what does that do? Well, if Brentford wins, our back bet gives us £640, but our lay bet loses £200. The result? A cool £440 profit. But what if they don't win? If it's a draw or Tottenham wins, we lose our initial £100 back stake, but we win the £100 lay stake. They cancel each other out. We break even. 0 loss.
And that's the magic right there. Your initial £100, it's been taken out of the equation. It's safe. You are now left with a genuine free bet, a position where the worst-case scenario is breaking even and the best case is a massive profit. It's a true risk-free shot at a big win.
But, and this is a big but, creating the free bet is only half the battle. Once you're in this incredible position, you've got a huge decision to make, a real strategic choice. Do you let that free bet ride for the big win, or do you lock in a smaller, guaranteed profit right now?
Now, that alternative is what we call cashing out, or as you'll often hear traders call it, greening up. All this means is that instead of putting all your potential winnings on that one outcome, you tweak your lay stake just a little bit, and what that does is spread your profit evenly across all the outcomes. You guarantee a win, no matter what happens in the rest of the match.
So, let's jump back to that Brentford trade for a second. If we decided to cash out instead of letting the free bet ride, we would walk away with a guaranteed £146. It doesn't matter who wins, Tottenham could come back, it could end in a draw, doesn't matter. That £146 is in our pocket. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it frames the core dilemma for any trader. You have the free bet, which offers this huge potential profit, £440 in our example, but you only get paid if that one result comes in. Or you have the cash out, which gives you a smaller but absolutely guaranteed profit of £146. One path is all about maximizing your long-term gains, while the other is about building confidence and your bankroll with steady, consistent wins. And listen, neither one is wrong. They're just different approaches for different situations.
So, how do you choose? Well, the real answer is it depends. It depends entirely on the match context, your read of the game, and your overall trading plan. So let's run through a few common scenarios.
First up, let's talk about letting it ride.
When does it actually make sense to go for that bigger prize and let the free bet do its thing?
Okay, here's a classic one, the high-value underdog. Imagine you've backed a team at massive odds, say 9.0. They managed to score, but the cash-out offers, well, it's pretty weak, maybe just double your initial stake. Think about it. You took a huge risk for a big reward. In this situation, the real value is often in letting that free bet run. You're playing for the huge payout you identified as a possibility from the very beginning.
Or how about this, the dominant favorite? You backed the stronger team, they've just scored, and they're absolutely running the show. They look like they could score 2 or 3 more. Cashing out now would just feel premature, wouldn't it? By sticking with the free bet, you could boost your potential profit by 40% or even more. If your analysis of the game hasn't changed and they still look like great value, why jump out early?
But on the flip side, there are absolutely times when grabbing that guaranteed cash is the smart, disciplined play. So when should you do that?
Okay, picture this. Your team is desperately clinging to a 1-0 lead. It's the 85th minute. The other team is throwing everything at them. A late equalizer right now would be absolutely crushing. This is the textbook time to cash out. You lock in your profit, you take the money, and you protect yourself from that gut-wrenching last-minute goal. It's just smart risk management.
And here's another big one. Think about the specific market you're trading. If you're trading the draw, for instance, you know that market is on a knife's edge. A single goal for either team can instantly destroy your position. The price just explodes and your profit vanishes. In a market that volatile, taking a guaranteed profit, even if it's smaller, is often the most sensible move you can make.
So that's a lot to take in, right? We've covered what a free bet is, how to create one, and when to choose between that and cashing out. Let's boil it all down to the main takeaways.
First, cashing out is perfect for beginners. It helps you build that all-important confidence and, of course, your bankroll. Second, free bets are more of a tool for experienced traders who are looking to maximize their long-term profits. And remember, there is no single right answer here. It is always situational. But that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most powerful tool you have at your disposal.
And it's this, keep records. I can't stress this enough. Every single time you're in this position, write it down, record the cash out amount you were offered, and record what the free bet value was. Then, after the match, see if the free bet would have won. You do this over 50 trades, over 100 trades, and your own data is going to tell you, with no ambiguity, which strategy is more profitable for you and the way you trade. So that leaves us with one final question I want you to ask yourself. Based on everything we've talked about today, what's your gut feeling? Which trader are you? Are you the profit maximizer, always playing the long game for the biggest returns, or are you the risk manager, focused on protecting your bankroll and locking in those guaranteed wins? Honestly, the answer to that question is going to define your entire journey as a trader. Think about it. Thanks for joining me.